Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to Look Back. Look Back is a series of videos that we do where we take a look at reviews that we did 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago. And I tell you what I think about them today, if I think about them at all. So 20 years ago, I played a game called Scallywags. This was an interesting game that you put these pirates together, the head, the torso, and the feet. I love that sort of stuff in games, right? They made another game later on called Numbers League, which was a better game. Scallywags was fine, but I do like the art in it and stuff. 6 out of 10, though. Walk the Dogs. This is from Simply Fun, the Avon of board games. Simply Fun was filled with plastic dogs. You put them in a line. An interesting little game, almost what I would want to play nowadays. It's fine. 6.5. And Sleeping Queens. I remember Sleeping Queens, the whole thing, hey, a 7-year-old designed this or so. And I guess now she's 27 or whatever. They made a 10th anniversary edition. And it's kind of a dumb little game, but it works really well. My girls all played this game growing up, and they all enjoyed it. So for that, I give it a 7. 10 years ago, I reviewed Baby Blues. Oh, such a terrible game. It was really bad. Far Space, 2 out of 10. Far Space Foundry, also not a great game about these connecting the space state. There's so many interesting ideas, and I really disliked the game. 4 out of 10. Top Face. This is a game about having a bunch of faces. You make a face. People have to figure out which one on the table you're making. That's cute. 6 out of 10. Between Two Cities. It's hard to think that this is 10 years old now. This started a genre. Not too many games are made like this where you are working with the person next to you in the scores. And I get it, and there's a lot of ideas in here, but at the end of the day, I kind of prefer to do my own thing. But that might be just a personal preference. 6 out of 10. Thunderbirds. This is much more highly rated by Z and I believe Mike. The theme doesn't mean anything to me, and it's a cooperative game for Matt Leacock, and there's a lot of cooperative games out there. This one was almost what I wanted. I like the pieces. I actually like the theme, but the game was just fine. 6.5. Or 6 now, I guess. Sorry. 6.5. I'm all messed up with my numbers. The Book of Madness. I remember this game because they had it advertised at S and Spiel over the urinals. Everyone had to sign for this. A game about going mad, a cooperative style game. This one was fine. 7 out of 10. Timeline Challenge. It's hard to believe this is 10 years old. Timeline Challenge. Timeline's a game where you're putting cards in order and you don't know the dates, and then you flip it over to see if you put it in the right spot. Timeline Challenge took that and added much more of a game to it, and you could take all those little timeline decks and put them in it. If you go to the Dice Tower Library, you can open up, and there's like 10 different decks in there to play the game with. It's a lot of fun, and that is 8 out of 10. Giraffeometer. This is a game where you put numbers in order, but you don't know how tall is a giraffe in inches compared to how many insects live in a typical ant colony, and you're just putting them all in order. I like this kind of party game. 8 out of 10. Kamisato Max, a great abstract game where when you can move your piece forward and whatever color it lands on, that's the color your opponent moves. Very simple, great game, whether you get the max version or not. It just was a bigger size. 8.5. Automania. This is a game that kind of really, for me, put a Porta on the map. The game looks a little kiddish, but it is a very good worker placement game. I like it. 8.5. And speaking of kids games, Dr. Eureka, still one of the best kids games ever made, where you're pouring the little colored balls from one vial to the next to get them in a specific order. Great for kids. 8.5. 5 years ago, I reviewed Chocobo Party Up. Not sure why I gave it a 4. I might have been feeling generous that day. I like Chocobos, but this game was not good. Bees. This was a bee game from Next Move, who for a while could do no wrong with Azul and everything. This one was just very average. 6 out of 10. Ticket to Ride Amsterdam. I like the little Ticket to Rides to some degree, although I much like the bigger ones better. This one felt like it was a little middling in that mix. Another 6 out of 10. Herd Mentality, where you're trying to say the same answer as everybody else. There's a lot of party games that do that. This one's fine. 6.5. SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton Rising. This is the umpteenth game based on Thanos Rising. This one is good, though, for kids. This is why I give it a 7. Because the other ones are pretty difficult. This one's a little easier than the rest. It's a cooperative game. Moonrakers, 7.5. This negotiation slash kind of hand management. There's a lot of things going on. Ivy Studios makes very unusual, interesting games. And I think Moonrakers is a really solid one. 7.5. Winter Kingdom. Not a big fan of this series from Dinovac Arena, but Winter Kingdom for some reason struck me in a good way from Queen. The whole idea of draw a card and then pick one of the one cards in your one hand to play is still a little weird to me, but it did work better in Escape in Winter Kingdom, so 8 out of 10. Star Wars Unlock is one of the best unlocks I've ever played. To be fair, I like the strong theming of it. I also think the first mission is particularly easy, but this kind of really honed in how much Unlock, the escape room game, can really do well with a theme. 9.5. And then Dune Imperium came out 5 years ago. What a fantastic game. Yes, we'll probably play Dune Imperium Uprising over it because it's 95% the same game, but I still think the original one is a fantastic game. It is a classic game, a game that people love. Last year, I reviewed Clans of Midgard. This was a roll and write based on the Midgard thing, but it was actually very, very similar to Boomerang, and then added some things I really didn't like. 5 out of 10. Stalk Exchange. Hey, it's a stock exchange about flowers. That joke is funny for about 1 second, I think, and the game itself was just okay. 5 out of 10. Sparks. Sparks, a robot game. I would have liked it more, but I felt like there was some overpowered stuff in it, it was fine, but I am the lowest, I think, at the Dice Tower, 6 out of 10. Golden Cup, a game where you are having little matches against other people, pulling chits from a bag and drafting cards and special abilities. It's a fun game. It's very similar to Challengers, but it is much more going on. So it's a little bit of much ado about nothing in a sense. It's light, but there's a lot of work. I would have rated it higher otherwise, a 6 out of 10. Kavango. Now, we just got the expansion for this, so maybe that will change my thoughts on it. I thought Kavango was fine. It was almost there, hence the 6.5 rating. But there's just a few little small details I didn't like in this game that looks like Wingspan but plays differently. Robo Rally Transformers. I went into this not expecting to like it. And there are some component issues, but hey, you're playing Robo Rally with Transformers, which can transform from robot to vehicle, and that's kind of a fun thing. 7 out of 10. Rebirth. Now, my rating of 7 pales besides Mike's rating of this game, but this Reiner Knizia game feels like a return to classic. It's a new game, very solid mechanically, and just if you like Through the Desert and games like that from Reiner Knizia, you'll enjoy it. 7 out of 10. We're Sinking. This is a semi-cooperative game. It's a game in which you are sinking, and at some point you decide, hey, maybe I want treasure, or I'm just going to let the ship sink and see what happens there. There's various endings to the game. It works well as a big party-style game. 7 out of 10. Dice and Slice. This is a roll and write where you are taking dice and building pizzas, square pizzas or rectangular pizzas in your grid. And I like the theme, but it was a fun little roll and write. 7.5. Marvel United Multiverse came out a year ago. Yes, I know. I still haven't done my ranking of all the heroes, which I'll do at some point. But this is a very good addition to the line in 8.5. And then Unconscious Mind. Unconscious Mind is an interesting game that came out. I've lowered my rating slightly to a 7. There's a lot of things I like about this game, but there's parts of it that feel cold mechanically. And that's the only reason that I'm not loving it like everybody else. I think they could have shaved off a few things. But there is a lot of cool aspects to it, and the main mechanisms are pretty neat, and the art is phenomenal. So, there you go. Those are the reviews I did 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower, and I also want to do a quick couple shout-outs to some of our GameFound backers. I want to say thanks to El Jefe, to Peter Vell, and to Lee and Sarah Birmingham. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games. We do top 10s. We play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.